I'm sorry if emotion gets involved here. Forgive me.
Please.
I saw what happened online with my own eyes, and I had a human moment of reflection just right then. I came to understand that my comment hurt some folks, and that hurt me so bad.
When Broadway darling and Hollywood star Kristin Chenoweth found herself at the center of a political firestorm, it wasn't over a new role, a stage performance, or a film premiere. It was over a tribute she gave to conservative activist CharlieKirk, a gesture that many fans saw as crossing a dangerous line, sparking outrage, headlines, and fierce debate. And for days, Chenoweth said nothing, until now. Kristin Chenoweth has always been celebrated as one of America's most beloved performers, a woman whose dazzling voice, southern charm, and radiant personality earned her accolades on Broadway, in film, and in television. But in early 2025, her reputation collided with politics in a way she had never experienced before, when she delivered a tribute to CharlieKirk, the conservative commentator and founder of Turning Point USA, an organization known for its outspoken positions on issues like immigration, LGBTQ+ rights, and education. Positions that many of Chenoweth's longtime fans, particularly within the theater community, view as hostile to the very values they hold dear. And when footage of her tribute circulated online, the reaction was immediate and explosive, with social media timelines filling with shock, disappointment, and anger, as fans who had adored her for decades suddenly felt betrayed. Hashtags calling her out began trending, with critics arguing that by honoring Kirk, Chenoweth had implicitly endorsed his politics. And even though her tribute appeared to be warm, personal, and focused on his leadership rather than partisan issues, in today's hyper-polarized climate, nuance often gets lost, and the internet was quick to judge, framing the moment as a clear crossing of a line. The backlash grew louder in the days that followed, with think pieces emerging across entertainment and political media, some calling her tribute a stain on her legacy, others defending her right to free expression, while fans debated whether supporting an artist also means condoning their associations. And in the middle of this storm was Chenoweth herself, silent, absent from interviews, quiet on her usually lively social media accounts, giving the impression of either shock, regret, or calculated restraint. And that silence only intensified the controversy, because in a world where celebrities are expected to respond instantly to criticism, her decision not to immediately clarify her intentions left a vacuum that critics and commentators eagerly filled, speculating on what she believed, why she chose to honor Kirk, and what it meant for her relationship with the communities that had lifted her career, especially LGBTQ+ fans who have long seen Chenoweth as a strong ally. The backlash wasn't limited to anonymous voices online. Fellow entertainers began weighing in, some defending her as a kind-hearted woman who likely meant no harm, others questioning whether artists have a responsibility to consider the political implications of their public gestures. And this split in the entertainment world mirrored the larger cultural divide in America, where every action, every statement, and every affiliation is scrutinized through a political lens. Behind the scenes, publicists and managers debated whether she should issue a statement, apologize, clarify, or double down, and each passing day of silence only heightened the suspense, as fans waited to see whether she would acknowledge the growing outrage or attempt to ride out the storm. But even as criticism mounted, there was also a quieter current of support, with some praising her for honoring a friend despite ideological differences, arguing that true kindness should not be confined by politics. Yet, in an era when political battles dominate cultural conversations, even those voices of support often added fuel to the fire, making Chenoweth's silence appear more and more untenable. By the end of the first week, the controversy had grown into something far larger than a single tribute, becoming a flashpoint in the ongoing debate about whether celebrities can or should remain above the political fray, or whether their platforms obligate them to pick a side. And for Kristin Chenoweth, the stakes were higher than most, because her career and legacy have long been built on inclusivity, joy, and universal appeal, qualities that now seemed in jeopardy as critics demanded answers. And so the world waited, knowing that eventually she would have to break her silence. And when she did, whatever she said would not just define her response to the backlash, but could reshape how she is remembered in the cultural landscape for years to come. When Kristin Chenoweth finally broke her silence, the moment carried the weight of weeks of speculation, disappointment, and anticipation, because fans, critics, and the media had all been waiting to hear from her directly. And when she spoke, she struck a tone that blended honesty, humility, and a careful attempt to reclaim the narrative. In a heartfelt post on her social media, she explained that her tribute to CharlieKirk was not meant as a political endorsement, but as a gesture of gratitude to someone she had known on a personal level, insisting that she did not share or promote his political agenda, but that she had simply honored him in a personal capacity. Yet, as often is the case in today's climate, the statement did not satisfy everyone, because while some fans breathed a sigh of relief, grateful to hear her reaffirm her long-standing commitment to inclusivity and love, others argued that intent did not erase impact, insisting that in honoring someone so polarizing, she had still lent her platform to normalize views they found harmful. Chenoweth went further, reminding her followers of her deep ties to the LGBTQ+ community, her outspoken advocacy for equality, and her personal faith in kindness across divides, framing her tribute as consistent with her values of seeing the human in everyone, even those with whom she disagrees. But this nuanced approach sparked its own debate, with critics saying that treating politics as just differences of opinion ignores the very real harm caused by certain ideologies, while defenders praised her courage for not backing down entirely or issuing what they saw as a hollow apology. The entertainment press seized on every line of her statement, parsing her words for sincerity, strategy, or contradiction, and interviews soon followed where she elaborated, acknowledging the pain caused to her fans while also standing by her belief that compassion should transcend ideology, a position that reflected her personal brand, but also highlighted the impossible tightrope celebrities often face in a hyperpolarized America. Politically conservative outlets applauded her for not bowing entirely to cancel culture, while progressive outlets criticized her for failing to fully denounce Kirk. And this duality revealed the trap of modern celebrity. No matter how carefully she spoke, her words would be weaponized by both sides of the cultural battlefield. Yet, beyond the noise of media commentary, there was also a broader lesson unfolding about celebrity, fandom, and politics in the digital age, because Kristin Chenoweth's experience demonstrated how quickly admiration can turn to anger when fans feel their values are betrayed, and how silence, once considered a wise PR move, is now often perceived as complicity. In the weeks that followed her response, the furor gradually began to cool, as fans made their own decisions about whether to forgive, forget, or move on. And for many, her long record of advocacy and kindness outweighed a single misstep, while for others, the incident marked a permanent fracture in their relationship with her. Career-wise, Chenoweth weathered the storm better than some feared, continuing to perform and appear in projects, but the shadow of the controversy lingered as a reminder that in today's entertainment world, no star, however beloved, is immune to the consequences of political association. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the entire saga was not what it revealed about Kristin Chenoweth herself, but what it revealed about us as a culture. Because the speed and intensity of the backlash underscored just how unforgiving and divided the public sphere has become, where the act of honoring a figure like CharlieKirk is not viewed as a personal choice, but as a political declaration, and where celebrities are expected to be flawless symbols of their fans' values rather than complex human beings. And in this sense, Kristin Chenoweth's breaking her silence was more than a personal defense. It was a reflection of a larger struggle, the struggle of how to navigate public life in an age where politics permeates everything, and where kindness, nuance, and empathy often lose ground to outrage and division. In the end, her words did not erase the backlash, nor did they erase the disappointment of those who felt hurt by her tribute, but they did reaffirm who she has always tried to be, a woman of faith, compassion, and art, who believes in seeing people beyond their politics, even if the world no longer sees that as enough. And so, while the backlash may one day fade from the headlines, the memory of it will remain a turning point in Kristin Chenoweth's career. A reminder that in the 21st century, breaking silence is no longer about controlling damage, but is about stepping into a cultural battlefield where every word, every gesture, and every friendship becomes a referendum on your legacy. And that is a challenge that no performer, however graceful, can entirely escape.